Sunday afternoon. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. I want to give you an update on how things are looking for the severe threat tomorrow night into early Tuesday, and I'll give you a quick glimpse of the 7 day forecast I'll be posting here shortly. So here's the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. They continue to have Madison County in a slight risk for severe with an enhanced risk back here over pretty much all of Illinois. I still think that there is going to be a moderate risk put in back here in Illinois. And in my personal opinion, you can kind of see how this points this way, and you can see this kind of points toward the southeast. I really think this enhanced risk can probably be extended out to about Columbus, cover, Bloomington, Columbus, Jasper, those areas to the south and southwest of Indianapolis. That's just my personal opinion on that. But as I always say, it doesn't matter where the lines on the map are or where the colors on the map are. The main thing is knowing that there is a severe risk for tomorrow with all modes of severe possible. If things set up the way they could, um, tomorrow could be a significant tornado day for Illinois. And you can see the yellow area back there. It's a 10 to 14% probability of a tornado within 25 miles of a point. But you see these lines going across there, these hash marks. That means it's a level 2 intensity. So it could be seeing tornadoes that are F3 strength, maybe stronger out there. It extends all the way to Terre Haute. Again, in my opinion, I think this could extend even to Bloomington, Vincennes. Um, my opinion. But Madison County is sitting right on the edge of the tornado risk. The thing for us is going to, and I'll show you some models here in a minute and show you the wild differences in them. How tomorrow morning plays out, tomorrow and early afternoon play out here, it's going to make a huge difference. If we get a bunch of rain in the morning or early afternoon, then our severe risk goes down significantly and the tornado risk almost disappears. But if it doesn't rain in the morning or early afternoon and we get good daytime heating and instability building with no storms kind of washing that out, then in my opinion, these tornado threats come farther east. Even though it's going to be after dark when this line gets here, the tornado threat would increase. So I'm going to show you these models. Again, I don't forecast by them. I'll kind of give you my opinion on things, but I do want you to see that. Beyond the tornado risk, our main risk here in Madison County is going to be damaging winds. We don't have, SPC does not have us in a hail threat. I kind of agree with that. Again, if we get some earlier storm initiation to kind of settle things down. If we don't, uh, I wouldn't be surprised by some pockets of smaller hail. Any large hail will definitely be out in Illinois and Iowa, Missouri, where they've got some daytime heating that'll create stronger updrafts. So again, to me, obviously our main risk here is going to be damaging winds, and I think that we need to again just monitor how things start to play out in the morning. So using the BAM Synoptic Weather page, which again is free. Right now, it just if you go sign up at Synoptic Weather, synopticwx.com, you can get access to this for free if you want it. They've got several models. The way they're developing this is very very nice. We got the timestamp in the upper right here, and so we're looking at the high resolution rapid refresh model. So this is at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you see all this activity it's got out here. And then as we advance through the morning, you can see here's by 11 a.m. we've got rain and maybe some heavy rain and some storms moving in. By 1, 2 p.m. it's beginning to affect Madison County. And then as we advance through the afternoon, you see this is more of a heavy rain threat that the high resolution rapid refresh model is depicting. You could kind of see the low pressure kind of skirt off way back here in Iowa. And so that would keep these storms out here would be more of the where they're isolated would be more of the tornado threats. Again, I do think Illinois and eastern Iowa by far have the highest tornado threat. And then as you advance through this, you can see it kind of develops a secondary line that kind of comes through here by midnight or 1 a.m. You see the majority of the activity, the heavier activity, is kind of skirting off to that south of Indianapolis. I do think that's correct. Um, and then the ARRR gets most of the activity out of here by 2 a.m. So here's a look at the 3 kilometer or higher resolution version of the North American model, or the NAM, and it's been real consistent on what it's done. In these morning runs last couple of days, and you can see here we are at 1 p.m. It's got a line of storms getting ready to cross over into Indiana out of Illinois, and it's got a secondary line back here. Then, as you go through the afternoon, this first line makes it to Madison County late afternoon, begins to wash out. Secondary waves just kind of come through, just patchy rain, and you can see what it's doing. It's running these heavier parts of these lines down to the southwest of Indianapolis, and it just does that in waves all through. Here's 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m. Tuesday. It's getting things out of here, and the vast majority of the heavier storms go to our south, but again, it's in waves, which would also maybe reduce the intensity down there too. So we've got one version that has a big mess, a big rainy mess out ahead that would almost eliminate severe threat. You've got this NAM version that's kind of less widespread and a little later, which would bring some more isolated severe, but especially south of Indianapolis. And then we'll take a look at one other high resolution model here. So here's the RRFSA, and here we are at 1 p.m. You can see it's got some activity out ahead here, a little bit of early afternoon rain that skirts that by about 4 to 5 p.m. So the atmosphere would have a little bit of recovery time in between, and then it begins to bring in. Yeah, here's 10 p.m., 11 p.m. It's bringing storms into Madison County. Again, heavier stuff is staying to the south of I-70. That's kind of what I've told you yesterday I thought was going to be the case, but there's still, you can see these kind of patchy, heavier spots in here. So there could still be some potential for some localized damaging winds. You get these storms that are isolated by themselves. One of two things can happen. Sometimes they can develop rotation, and sometimes they collapse, and you get microbursts, which can do the same kind of damage as a F1 tornado, EF1. So you know, microbursts. We've had a lot of microburst damage in this county over the last 10 years, so that's nothing to be to turn your nose up at. In fact, in my opinion, they're actually maybe slightly more dangerous because a tornado you at least kind of know is coming. You can hear it coming. If you're underneath where a microburst happens, that wind just slams straight down on top of you, flattens things, and you never knew it was coming. So that'll be the thing that we'll keep an eye on for this tomorrow. But this RFSA model then uh, gets us through. Here's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It has most of the activity out of here. So we've got three different scenarios there to keep tabs on. In the morning will tell us a lot. If we wake up in the morning, we're looking at radar, we're seeing a large rain shield like what the high resolution rapid refresh model had, then our severe threat is going to be much lower. And maybe even if it lasts as long as, say, RRR had, it would probably all but go away. If you get a scenario like this where you get a little bit of early afternoon storm activity, then we get several hours to recover, then we would be watching very late tomorrow. Right now, at 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. time frame, depending on whether it speeds up or slows down a little bit, we would be watching for severe potential in Madison County. So that's the way things are looking right now. Again, a lot of questions still, with this thing. There are several things that are involved that could, uh, either create a major severe outbreak or totally wash the severe outbreak away. So we're going to have to see how things play out in the morning, but that's the way things are kind of looking right now. Again, my opinion today is the same as it was yesterday. The majority of the severe threat, especially the tornadic threat, is going to be to our south and southwest, or actually south and southwest of Indianapolis. I think tornado threat here, we're going to, for there to be much of a tornado threat here, we're going to have to see almost no storm activity during the day tomorrow, and basically nothing happen until that line starts to approach us late tomorrow evening. If we're getting stuff ahead of time, anything significant ahead of time, that greatly reduces any tornado threat here. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast that I'll be putting out here in a bit. And again, we're going to be watching. I might be a little bit cool tomorrow. Depends on cloud cover. If we see much sunshine, we'll get up close to 80 tomorrow. If it stays cloudy most of the day, we'll be in the mid to upper 70s. Nice and warm and pleasant regardless, because our average high right now is 66. Our average low is 46. So that's we're going to be running 10 to 12 degrees, warmer than average still. Then we'll watch those storm activity tomorrow night into early Tuesday, see how that severe plays out. We'll have another wave of reinforcing cooler front coming through early Wednesday. It could bring some, especially pre-dawn showers. Will be much cooler. By Wednesday, we'll actually swing to being cooler than average. I do want to point out, if you see maps with a lot of blue on it and people acting like it's going to be cold, again, keep in mind the averages. We're averages right now mid 60s for highs, mid 40s for lows. So if you're running 10 degrees colder than average, it's still mid 50s for highs, mid 30s for lows. So not cold. We just have to keep that in mind. I think some people almost promote this stuff like, we're going to be looking at some sort of, really cold wintry feel or something, and that's just not the case. We do need to watch those we get later in the week with some reinforcement of cooler air. I'm cold. I'm cooler than most data on Friday. I do think we need to watch Friday night, really probably Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, for some frost potential. And Saturday morning, Friday night into Saturday morning, I do think there's a chance that some outlying areas might get down there close to freezing. So right now, I'm going to leave this part of the forecast a little cooler than most of the other forecasts, and we'll see if I need to adjust it up. I need to adjust it up, but I would rather if you got delicate plants, to be prepared that you might have to cover them up about 2 or 3 mornings late in the week and early next weekend before we begin to rebound some by Sunday. So this is my 7-day forecast right now. As always, I want to thank our sponsors, Community Hospital, Madison County Federal Credit Union, Melinda Reynolds Perceptions, my wife Joy Mitchell Cincy, Heavenly Hair Salon, Elwood Fire. They came on with us last year, and so great to have them on. Elwood Fire Equipment, Uranus of Indiana. My son actually works out there at Uranus, so if you're ever out there at the Uranus out on 53rd Street and you see a giant kid walking around in there, that's going to be my son Aaron. So he's about 6'8". He makes Dad look tiny. Also, the Anderson Symphony Orchestra wrapped up their season yesterday. Thank you so much to them and to Darla Salee, their director. They've been an in-kind partner for the entirety of this page. Jeff Waitman Realty Group and Meldon HVAC. So thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to all of you who donate to this page. Thank you to all of you who are monthly subscribers and Patreon patrons. Thank you for helping keep this page going. If you don't support the page financially, but you can, check out the pinned posts at the top of the Facebook page and the X page. And there are several ways that you can help the page out and help keep this going. So this is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. We'll see how things look in the morning for the severe, see how the storms do or do not develop in the morning and early afternoon, and then I will update you tomorrow accordingly. Otherwise, enjoy the great weather and have a great day.